What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we are going to be rebuilding Ajax over 5 years with the aim to try and win absolutely everything you could ever imagine. If you do enjoy the rebuilds, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Once again, if you do want to see your team featured, you can leave a comment below. Of course, we've got tons of time now until FM25, so tons of time to do your rebuilds. Let's get into it and learn a little bit about Ajax. So, of course, Ajax are one of the most reputable teams in football. We all know who they are. They're a massive name and they've got a lot going for them. I will say, in the game, they nearly have a perfect youth recruitment and training facilities. Their youth facilities are 4-star and their reputation is 4-star as well. But despite that, the real talking point about Ajax obviously is going to be their history. 4 Champions Leagues, 36 Dutch titles, 1 European Cup, 1 Europa League, 2 Super Cups, 2 Intercontinental Cups, 20 Dutch Cups, and 9 Johan Cruyff Shields. They have literally done the lot, and they are no joke at all. This team is a serious bit of history in football. The owners, well, they're pretty 50-50, I will be honest, and the money for Ajax is always a little bit iffy whenever I've personally done a save, but of course, we make 0 signings in the first season anyway. I say that, if you are playing back home, apparently you've got 30 million to spend, so if you do so will want to, you can go and spend 30 million. For me, I don't usually like to do that. I'm going to take in the team that I have got, and I've simply loaded in a basic 4-2-3-1 and moulded it around the team to try and extract the performance out of all of these players. I would like to quickly take a second to say, if you do want to see me do these rebuilds live, I am shortly going to be back streaming on kick.com/JoshDaily. The link is going to be in the description as well. If you want to see me live, make tactics, etc, you can come on over and see me there. But there's a lot to offer, actually, with this team, I will be honest. So if you look at the likes of the Wonder Kids or the younger players we've got in this team, you've got the likes of Hato, a player who, to be honest, a lot of people spend a lot of money on. So we are blessed to have him in the team. It's not just him, of course. You've got the likes of Wrench, who can develop either really well or he can just go pretty bad quite quickly, to be honest with you. But it's not just young players. Obviously, you've got the likes of Berghaus, who is 32, a fantastic wide player who is very versatile. You've got Brobby as well, who again can be an absolute bagsman if used correctly. You've got Vink in the under-21s or the B team, whatever they call it. You've also got loads of players on the bench. You've got the likes of Van der Boomen, a player who I absolutely love, a serious talent. You little talent, older player, but a serious player. Klaassen, again, definitely not a young talent, but 31 years of age as well. This player is a serious player and a talent. That is going to be Van Axel Dongen. Again, a player I've spent several million on before with other teams. So, also, let's not forget, you've also got the likes of Kenneth Taylor, he's only 22, and even Mansverk is only 22 as well. So the sort of double midfield role here is absolutely blessed with who we have. Now, I do think in this first season, with this formation, with no signings, I think we can still potentially win the league because the tactic is an absolute joke. It's a very good tactic, and hopefully I don't prove myself wrong. But we are playing in 3 competitions. Again, the Dutch League, I would imagine if we go over and look, we are going to be favourites. Now, again, if you ever want to get this tactic or you want to get the rebuild file, you like what you see, you can come on over and get all of these perks as well, where you get all of these perks all year round. We've still got tons of content, tons of rebuilds, tons of tactics, so you've got action-packed stuff. You can come on over and get involved in the description. But I think what we're going to do is enough talking. Let's go over into Season 1 and hopefully prove myself right that we've got a good little team here. And we are going to start off with the Dutch League, where we are going to win. And you know what? It wasn't even a close season. I mean, 93 points compared to Feyenoord in second place, over a 20-point advantage, and we only go on to lose 1 game against PSV. So a great start there with Brobby coming in with 21 goals, 3 players in the average rating, and our goalkeeper, who I didn't even mention, who is 41, dominated the stat line with 17 clean sheets. Now, because it's our last season, we're not going to spend loads of time focusing on it, because obviously the big project is going into the Champions Leagues and trying to win everything in one season. So the rest of the competitions, we are going to be your runners-up in the Conference League, 2-1 against Chelsea. Again, I don't hate it. I would imagine, who did we beat, for example? Real Sociedad, a very dominant display, 6-1 over 2 legs. The quarterfinals will go and beat, okay, yeah, we should be beating them. So realistically, the semi-final was somewhat difficult. The final obviously was too difficult, but it's a good display in that Conference League. The Dutch Cup, it is apparently going to be PSV Eindhoven being a little bit too much for us. Did they batter us? Please tell me they didn't. They actually won it. Okay, it's not a battering, so overall, it's a good entry season. 1 trophy, it's an okay start. Again, we've had no impact on signings. I would imagine, I've played with Ajax personally, and you never usually get a mad budget, and I don't think we're going to have one. No, we've got 19 million, probably like 22 million pounds to spend. I'll be honest, it's not a lot of money. I mean, luckily for us, I think the contract situation is somewhat okay. If we look at it, we've got to worry about 2025 upwards. We're going to get Univar back, who is an incredible player. He can get a contract. I'm not worried. Contract. Not really worried. Definitely contract. Definitely contract. Does Regani want to join us on the permanent? Because he's only like 1 million. Oh, cheers. Thank you, Regani. He's not even interested in coming to us. So, okay, so Regani's gone regardless, but we can keep a few of these players, but we should be able to easily do that with the money and the season we've just had. Hopefully that's enough. But of course, how did the players do? I like looking at it on this screen right now. If you don't like me looking at the stats on here, please do let me know. But in terms of the forward players, we are going to have the likes of Broby coming in with 39, 21 for Berghaus on the left, 11 for Akpom, 23 for Traore. I mean, it's a really good sign. Assist-wise as well, we have got 21, 18, 12, 14, 17... Down here, you've got 7 from Gaye coming in there. I mean, you have got some really good players in this team. I will say, the substitute players didn't really do too much. Especially in terms of goals. So I might go ahead and promote the likes of Skyvink, because if I actually show you instead of tell you, we can go and actually look at some of these players, because we have got some serious talent. I mean, we've got Pasic there, we've got Wout, we've got Skyvink, who, to be honest, is the man. In fact, I am going to go ahead and promote him right away, because I want him to get some game time in the main team. He is the main talent, probably, of this entire roster, but we have got other players I'm going to keep a close eye on. I always do this in rebuilds. Sometimes I forget to mention they've been promoted, but I do go and see what we've got. Then we either keep them and play with them, or we sell them and get more money to reinvest into the first team. But let's put that back onto the senior squad, and let's go over into season 2 of the transfers after a decent first season with 22 million. Well, I'm going to be honest, it's going to be a very short transfer window, because I couldn't actually bring anybody in. The options that were given to me and wanted to join wouldn't really have strengthened the team, and I have gone down more of a promotion route in terms of them young players, bringing a lot of them up into the first team. We have lost 3 players, as you can see. The first one being Rico going to PSV on the free. Not a big loss. We didn't have Caden going to oh, actually it was AZ that Rico went to. Caden goes to PSV on the free. Again, not a massive loss. And also Nasev is going to go to SC Camber, also on the free. So once again, it is going to be 3 players leaving. We also had a lot of players come back from loan. Like 4 players, I believe, come back from loan, including Univars, which also did sort of play a big part in a decision not to go out and sign anybody. It's a big call, because usually, I don't think I've ever done this. I've not signed a player, especially in Season 2. We had 22 million, but I also believe in don't spend it just because you got it sort of thing. So let's go over and see what we've done. If we've fallen off now, I will take the blame. But it's a good start, because although it's definitely a worse season in terms of the results, we still only lost 3 games against Feyenoord, AZ and PSV. We still had a 10-point advantage and won the league, so that is currently back-to-back league titles. Broby again being the real man, and Borge, the man who I think was out on loan, has come in and now is dominating the Dutch league. He is an absolute nightmare to defend against. Manswerk and Berghaus enjoying a great time, and our goalkeeper, who was obviously 41, he did retire, but Jay Gorter, an incredible goalkeeper, is going to pick up the most clean sheets. Although I look at him, he's not definitely a Champions League winning goalkeeper, which is a bit unfortunate, because I could have done with not having to sign a new one. But for the league, he's absolutely fine. So that's trophy 1. Have we won anything else? But in the Champions League final against Barcelona, we are going to come out and put on a bit of a masterclass, actually. 1-0 inside of a very early part of the game. And we go again here in the 73rd minute with Akpom going through, running through everybody in that back line, with Manswerk playing it into Wrench, back into Manswerk, wins it back. Akpom is scrappy to make it 3-0. Barcelona are going to go and get a consolation because of a bit of a stinker there from Gorter, but apparently he is a Champions League winning keeper. That is right, we are going to go over and win the Champions League, and I'll be honest, I've had a sneak glimpse, and we've won more than that. We've also won the Dutch Cup, which we come out and win 2-0. We also win the Johan Cruyff Shield, which is 4-1, and we also win the Friendly Cup 4-0. So we have won everything in Season 2, and we have not made a single signing, which goes to show, if you've got the right tactic and you promote the right players, you are going to be absolutely fine. I mean, honestly, what a season. Now, I have made the executive decision not to end the video here, because obviously we are also going to be in the Super Cup, and I want to see how many trophies we can now pick up over 5 seasons. Because to be honest, if we're doing this in Season 2, we've still got 3 whole seasons to play here. We potentially could win another couple of Champions Leagues. The way we're playing is absolutely unreal, and if we actually go over and look at the tactics, we're going to go and see exactly what happened, because who got the goals and why are we so good? I mean, Broby comes in with 37, 25 for Berghaus. Akpom, who by the way gets a lot of stick, but he is putting up a serious amount of numbers in this team. You've also got Borje, he was a big addition back, 10 goals, 14 for Taylor. You've got 10 for Satalo from set pieces, and assist wise, I mean, it's beautiful. Manswerk with 22, 13 for Taylor, 23 for Borje, 12 for Akpom, Berghaus for 24, and I mean, if we go down here, I don't even know if Skyvink got 6 goals. I mean, it's an okay return. He would have only been used as a sub player at the end of the day. Bertrand Traore comes in with 9 goals as well. Nothing really stands out apart from that on the bench, but what does stand out is winning 5 trophies in one season, and I swear, I need to see at least 40 million. If I've won 5 trophies and I don't see at least 40 million, we're going to fall out. That's a joke. That is an absolute joke, because I'm not being funny. Unless they give me more as we simulate a little bit further, we have just won 5 trophies, which I assume they want me to try and maintain. We are going to have players who they won't want to leave because of, I mean, success-wise, you would stay here now. We've won everything. But realistically, we have got players we've got to worry about, and we have got limited money, and you always need to strengthen after winning that amount of trophies, because it's going to be harder next year to maintain the same standard. But let's go over into Season 3 with an absolute joke of a budget after a perfect Season 2. Signing one on the free is going to be Pablo Torre. I have signed him in a previous rebuild quite recently, so I do apologise for doing that, but he was really, really good. And do you know what? I absolutely love him. He comes in on the free, he played 31 games, dropped 15 goals and 13 assists. And I want to say comfortably, in my heart, we have probably won the Dutch League again. We are so good. Have made the decision to get another goalkeeper to compete with Gorter. That is going to be Verbruggen, coming in from the likes of Brighton for 31 million, where he clearly has played a lot of games and actually kept a 50% clean sheet ratio in every single game he played in. So do you know what? A very good first season for him, and he is just a very solid option. He's 24 on under 40 grand a week. He can join any day. A player that I used to sign a lot and haven't recently, that is going to be Eduardo Bove, coming in from the likes of AS Roma for 24 million. He steps in and plays 28 games, 2 goals, 6 assists, drop a 7.24. It's pretty decent. I mean, I wouldn't say he's world class, although he's a leading Dutch league player. He is still only 25, still can grow a little bit, although he is close to his full ability. But again, he's a player that isn't old. He offers a lot. He's played with some pretty big teams. And you know what? Model citizen. You can't go wrong. That was going to be, or is going to be, all of the business done. As you can see, I'm not hiding anything on this page here. So a grand total of these players leaving and 3 players coming in. It's been quite a quiet sort of transfer rebuild in terms of the fact we're in Season 3. But we're going to go over right now and see what we've done in Season 3. To maintain 5 trophies, I highly doubt, but who knows? First up, the Super Cup against Feyenoord, a very, very important trophy for us to win here, and we are going to go 1-0 up inside of 30 minutes, which is incredible. Then 2-0 in 55 minutes, and Feyenoord fell apart. 65 minutes, we're going to make it 3-0 with Traore, and time for a 4th. Have that. Trophy 1. We are also going to lift the UEFA Super Cup against Frankfurt 1-0, so that's the trophy we needed. You can imagine we've won the Dutch League again, and this time we have gone invincible with 29 wins and 5 draws, picking up 92 points, meaning PSV and Feyenoord are literally nowhere near us. Now, in terms of player performance, can we just turn our attention to the best player in the league, Pablo Torre, who I knew would be a great signing and was. Borje, the second top goal scorer, also Bertrand Traore, the top assister out of anybody in the league. Verbruggen is going to come in and pick up the second most amount of clean sheets. We realistically aren't going to win that stat line much anymore because we've got 2 goalkeepers competing, so they are playing 1 game here, 1 game there, so they're not going to get the best run of games to maintain the most clean sheets. But still, that's not really an issue because we've got 2 incredible goalkeepers. But realistically, I think the way we're performing in this league, we might go a perfect 5 for 5. What we didn't do is go over. We didn't win the Champions League. We got knocked out in the knockout round, to be honest. And that is going to be against Napoli 2-1, who are a good team, but again, a little bit disappointing to go from champions to not even making it to a semi-final. But it is football. It happens. And the Dutch Cup, Well, we're not even going to talk about the Dutch Cup because I don't know what happened, but what I do know is it can't happen again. It's an absolute disgrace. But the big bonus is we have won the trophy we needed, which is going to be the Super Cup. So now the real challenge is to try and put it all together and attempt to win 6 trophies in one season, I guess, which would be everything we've done before, including the Super Cup, which is a big ask with a team like this, still at this point, and we are playing very well. But tactics-wise, we are going to go and look at the stats, of course. It is going to be a total of how many goals? Where has Broby gone? He's down here. So 18 goals, which means Weghorst, Broby definitely got injured because you got Weghorst coming in with 10 goals. Where's Mr. Skyvink? Is he didn't actually score a goal, so he's not playing games, it appears. Brian Broby with 18, Weghorst with 10, 17 for Borje, Torre with 16, 16 for Traore. I will say there's definitely a fall off in stats, isn't there? In terms of not having, you know, them 20 goal seasons. I would imagine Broby definitely did get injured though, because with wow, how many games did he actually play to get those goals? 17. There was definitely a serious injury going on, but he stepped in. We've still won the league title, but that might explain the early Champions League exit, considering that obviously, you know, he did play a fair few games, and no offence to Weghorst, but he's not Brian Broby level in terms of finishing. But of course, going into season 4, we have been given a budget of... This is more like it. A lot more like it. Okay. 87 million big ones to go and spend. And this is where we can turn this team into a proper powerhouse. Potentially, because we're now going into season 4 after winning again 3 trophies, so technically some form of treble, but with 80 plus million, I think we can go back to being that quadruple winning team, maybe even more. Let's go into season 4 and see exactly what I can cook up. Well, on the free, we are going to pick up Kuleveski, and believe it or not, he is probably not our best free signing, and that is some statement. He come in and he is going to be absolutely cooking. 33 appearances, 19 goals, 22 assists, dropping a 7.91. This guy, he is a bit older. He has fallen off a little bit in terms of his pace, but he has still got so much to offer. The downside? The wage. The wage. We are also going to pick up Big Kavar, again on the free from Napoli, where he played 30 games. Not as good as Kuleveski, to be fair, but I will say, in my opinion, probably the best free signing you can get because of the value. And Napoli, I did inquire about him, and they wouldn't take, I believe it was 30 million last season in installments, and I've now got him on the free. So Napoli, you should have listened, because he wanted Ajax, and now he is an Ajax man. And although, again, he probably hasn't been playing to his full ability, he has definitely fallen down a little bit in terms of pace. Look how many attributes are still in the yellow. He 100% is worth the pickup. And now we've got him and Kuleveski on the wing. Also going to strengthen the wing again in terms of backup by bringing in Gabriel Veron for a total of 12.2 million, where he comes in and does substitute numbers. 15 games, 4 goals, 2 assists. It's nothing flash, but again, he's a sub. Fair play. Is going to be a right back in Hator. Now, I will say, very limited right back options on the market with the budget I had left after forking out the wages for the free agents and, of course, the transfer we already discussed. We did, however, have 27 million, and he has come in and pretty much been a first-team player. 2 goals, 10 assists, dropped to 7.47. It's very decent stats, very reasonable, although I will say he might have been injured recently, because he appears to be on quite a rapid decline. But I mean, looking at this window, we have brought in 2, I'm going to say it, world-class wingers, a very good backup and a very good right-back. We might be cooking. Let's go and find out. One thing, we're going to go invincible, and it to be expected, to be honest, in terms of going over and winning the Dutch league. But Wout Weghorst is scoring 31 goals, which means Broby isn't getting in the team, or is he injured again? I am going to check. I mean, I don't understand that we're using Wout Weghorst up front, and he is scoring a lot of goals, but he is being feeded assists by Kuleveski and Big Kavar, all of our players in the average rating, and definitely when it comes to the clean sheets. I will say, and I am absolutely gutted about this, it's the only trophy we are going to win that season. The Johan Cruyff Shield, we're going to lose 1-0 to PSV. The Dutch Cup, again, what is going on in the Dutch Cup? The second round, we're cursed in. We lose 1-0 to a team which I don't even want to say, because it's an embarrassment to lose against. And the Champions League, it's not bad. The semi-finals is a lot better than the previous season, and we are going to lose by 1 goal against Liverpool. But I mean, Wout Weghorst is making some form of unexpected return into a Champions League winning team. What is going on? I mean, let's just go over and see, because I mean, he gets into the best 11, and I mean, he's scored 38 goals across all competitions, as a 2-star rating. What I will say is he is retiring, so it is definitely not going to be happening next season. You've got 16 goals for Kvar. Toure, we're coming in with 16. Kulusevski with 21. These new boys done bits. 31 assists for Kulusevski, by the way, who is now wanted by another Saudi team, but I can't imagine he's going to go. He just come from the Saudi league, so hopefully he's okay. Haytor picks up 17 assists. I mean, where is Broby down here? 8 goals in the season. Luckily for us, I think he's still looking quite good. He's still looking okay. Obviously, he's not played a bit now because Wout Weghorst turned into an absolute monster. So we are going to have to make the big executive decision on whether we're going to trust him for the last season, or do I hopefully have a decent budget and we go and sign a bagsman? Because of this man, because of Wout Weghorst, he's caused turmoil in my decision making. Yes, he's scoring a lot of goals, but he has completely thrown me off because I was trying to get rid of him for the past 2 seasons. He's been on the transfer list. No one wants him, and he's scoring nearly 40 goals in the season. But regardless of that, hopefully we've got a decent budget. We have got 42 million. That's acceptable considering last season we had 80. So we are going to see what we're going to do, because I might spend it on a striker. I might obviously just let Broby play. We've got a lot of good players on the bench still, so I don't really need to sign loads of players. We've got Hato, Univar, Van der Boomen, Broby, Veron. We've got Guy down there. We've got Windal, Manswerk, Akpom, Wrench, Klaassen, Traore, and a good 11 to be fair. So what I'm going to say is probably not much is going to change. We might go out and sign a striker. Unless people leave, you're probably going to see a very similar 11. Let's get in to the final season. I want to win one more Champions League. I don't want to talk about it. Okay, because it wasn't my decision, but apparently the board decided to sell Kulusevski, and he's going to have 1 season in the Netherlands, and then thinks, do you know what? Yeah, go on then. I'll go back to the Saudi League, where he did absolutely cook, but we have just lost probably our best player of last season. He's got to go on 725k, so he's nearly on double the money he was on at Ajax, and we were giving him 400k. I mean, the guy, that is utter greed, but to be honest with you, I wouldn't have sold him even for that money, despite him being 29, because it's our last season, but they've decided to do it. It is what it is. I've got to take it on the chin and move on. It is what it is. I have attempted to replace him with a player that, to be honest, might not look as good, but still is along the similar lines, and he has developed incredibly well. Keane Lewis Potter is going to come in for 34 million, where he did drop not as good as stats, but he dropped a decent amount. 9 goals, 10 assists. He was very eager to join, and once again, in terms of the wage budget, he's on £330,000 less than what he was, Kulusevski. So in that regard, it's okay. Gonna bet on this one. That joke's getting old now, isn't it? We are going to pick up Ivan Toney on the free. He is going to be a bit of a bagsman, and as you can see, he did bag. 30 appearances, 19 goals, 3 assists. You know, when you pick up Toney, 2 things. He's going to want a fair bit of money to go and spend, and also he's going to get you goals. And do you know what? Considering we freed up a bit of wage for Kulusevski, I was happy to put a little bit on it in Ivan Toney, where obviously it did pay off. We're also going to pick up Wonder Kid Oscar Glau for a grand total of £14 million, where he has come in and actually played some pretty good football. 26 appearances, 15 goals and 4 assists, dropping at 7.5, and again, a player for the future, already a star Dutch League player. And do you know what's nice? The wage, not much. We're also going to pick up Christopher on the free, coming in from FC Midtjylland, where he only played 3 games, so not too much to say about him, but welcome in, Christopher. Hopefully them 3 games were important. And the man, the myth, the mountain, Leon Goretzka. He is 34, but I brought him in for one reason. Do you want to know what it is? It is for Champions League experience. He comes in on the free and actually plays a ton of games. Considering his age, he's done very well, and I will say he's on a fair bit of money per week, but if we have won the Champions League, I'm going to credit it to Leon Goretzka. He's played with some big teams, Bayern being the biggest one. Of course, a lot of experience with them. Hopefully, just having him in the team as a vocal point could have made a difference. Let's go and find out, because that is going to be our last signing of today's rebuild. We're fixed up in that Dutch Cup final, because we are going to be right away, and I mean, it's an easy game. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We're going to 1-0 up inside of 49 minutes, and from this point, they collapsed. 2 minutes after, Kvar gets a ball in into big man Ivan to make it 2-0, and they go on to win it 3-0 with Oscar Glau into Bove, into Potter, into big Kvar, who makes it 3. Super Cup had a lot of drama. We are going to start off 1-0 up inside of 6 minutes with Pablo Torre, and 2 minutes after, we get a penalty that Ivan Toney slots in. With Feyenoord, they only responded with 1 goal. So that is going to be trophy number 2, despite a very good goal from them. Champions League, the Goretzka effect didn't work because we are going to bail out in the quarterfinals and get battered, by the way, against Barcelona. But we did maintain that Dutch League title, meaning that is going to be 5 out of 5 won. A very, very good rebuild in my opinion. I mean, looking at it, it is probably our least comfortable season because Feyenoord were somewhat close. But the last season we've done the Dutch League, the Dutch Cup and the Johan Cruyff Shield. We've done an incredible job. I would like to say I would have liked to win the Champions League at least one more time, but unfortunately, we didn't get it done. I do feel like I've left Ajax in a lot better place now, though, because the club info, we've added in a ton of trophies, now hitting 40 Dutch League titles, by the way, of obviously another Champions League, another Super Cup, another Dutch Cup, 2 Dutch Cups, I think, Cruyff Shields. We've done pretty much everything. If we go on to the profile right now, of course, we are going to be seeing a team. The owners are in. They love the club. You love to see that. And ideally, we've left them with a fantastic team. If we filter by the best 11, let's just look at it. You've got Verbruggen, Heitor, Satalo. You've got Avila, I believe how you say that. Sosa, Goretzka, Bove, Potter, Glau, Kavar, and Toney. Yes, you've got older players in there. You've got young players on the bench. And everyone put up a decent season to wrap things off. If you are going to carry on back home, you are going to have a budget of 49. Scrap that. You've got £52 million. So if you are interested in carrying on, you can go over and get this tactic and this rebuild file over on the Patreon, all of these wonderful perks as well. And trust me, it's a big, big page. There's loads of stuff going on. There's close to 5,000 members and there is endless content. So do go over and check it out. It also supports me massively. Absolute legends. But one thing I do want to do before I do go is I want to go over the schedule and see like where we slipped up, where we know any interesting games. Just, you know, look, it's our last season. So it appears in the friendlies, I mean, we absolutely stormed the friendlies. The Super Cup was decent. Our first league game was a draw against Vitesse. But then go on a bit of an unbeaten... That was a game, wasn't it? A 5-4 win. 5-1, 2-0. A 4-0 loss there to Real Madrid. I mean, it's what you'd expect so far. A point here coming in against Fortuna Sittard, 1-1. Feyenoord, a point's okay. This is not okay. The friendly in the middle of the season, we beat Wolfsburg 1-0. Celtic, we should be winning that game. Sparta Prague, we're going to win 4-0. Vitesse 2-0. A loss there against Old... We're losing games. We lost games this season we shouldn't have really lost. I want to see the Barcelona effect. So the Champions League, that'd be the round of 16. We get through quite comfortably against Sevilla. Then Barcelona, we didn't even answer back at all, did we? In the second leg. Overall, then, it's probably... We actually slipped up to the small teams more than the big teams, but in my opinion, it's been a very fun rebuild. Hopefully, you feel the same way watching it. If you have, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Turn on the bell because it is completely free. And I'll be seeing you in the next one.